All right, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Purified Podcast. My name is Luis Palacios with my co-host Chris.
Hello, hello.
Yeah, Chris, how's it going?
It's been a very good day. Very good day for sure.
Yeah, I can tell for sure that it's been a good day. Today is May 17th of 2020. Of course, we are here once again to talk all things Pokemon Go related news and rants because we want to rant about Pokemon Go. And as you can see, the setup has changed a little bit. I also have Chris finally with a green skin, so he's actually like looking in pretty well there. We like those upgrades, Chris. We like those upgrades. That's good. That's good. Well, with that being said, let's go ahead and get started for today's week. We're going to go ahead and say this first. Happy birthday, Chris!
Thank you, thank you.
As you guys know, my co-host Chris is turning 22 today, and it is his birthday. Happy birthday once again.
It's been a very fun day. I'm glad we had a lot going on today.
That's good. That's good to hear. That's good to hear. It's also a very special time because we are actually multi-streaming both in Twitch and YouTube. So if you guys want to check us out in any way, shape, or form, go ahead and actually go to my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/purelighter. And then, of course, Chris, they can also find you at your channel anytime, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It should be hosting Pure Lighter's channel there.
All right. Yeah. So anybody who's actually in the podcast world, you can check those out. That'd be great. But we're also streaming on YouTube. So that is the usual place that this podcast will actually be implemented. And so you guys know that, we're here to talk about Pokemon Go either way. So we like the game too much. Why not, right?
Okay.
All right. So let's get in on today's research topic since it's been a hell of a week, but it's also been kind of a quiet week in Pokemon Go. It's interesting to say that it's not as news intensive as it was, but we still have a couple of news to share with all of you.
Yeah, it's like we finally hit the stuff that the news was talking about last week, pretty much.
Oh yeah,
is what it feels like.
Definitely. And the best way about it is we're just gonna recap how our week went, and then of course talk about some information, some dramatic stuff. But hopefully we can all come together as a community in this world right now because this is what we have right now, and we'll keep it that way, of course. So let's go ahead and start it. First and foremost, our first news of today, and our first news of today's research is going to be Terrakion is coming back. Actually, next week on Tuesday, if I can remember where exactly is the post. There is the post. May. Yeah, May. We're in May, right?
Yeah.
May 19 at 1 p.m. until May 26 at 1 p.m., which technically should be the end of the month by that point. So that means we'll have it. And, of course, we have the shiny possibility. Just as Virizion came back last week.
I'm excited. I'm excited for the shiny, but yeah, I do kind of wish it had the special move that Cobalion got. But beggars can't be choosers.
Of course. But shiny possibility came out. When they released information about the remote raiding and how they were coming back with some of the raid bosses. Virizion wasn't mentioned as a shiny before, but we were just hoping that it came, and of course it came. Luckily enough, I actually got myself one.
I'm very jealous. Very jealous.
Yes.
I've done like 3 or 4 raids and I haven't gotten the shiny yet.
The funny thing is about Virizion is that I actually got it on the first raid hour.
That's so good.
And it's
that
also a 96 IV%.
I'm lucky that mine, the first one I got this time around was at 98, but I would like to get the shiny before too long. I'm very hopeful.
Yeah, we'll hope for that. That you will get your shiny before actually. You have another day and a half, so you should be well on your way. And then you have a couple of gyms that you can see as long as you have more people coming around. So it looks like we got some people on chat. Looks like some people are coming around. Robo Creeper, thank you very much for coming by. Marion, thank you very much for coming by. They want us to film some vlogs there, so that's interesting. Some raids. I don't know. Maybe we'll get together eventually and we can actually get some raids going for all of you. But everybody knows about raids, so it's not much differences. We take it down, we get the shiny, we don't get the shiny. That's how things work, right?
Oh, I think they're saying that they're raiding us, actually.
Oh, we have a raid. Oh my goodness,
Yeah.
we're getting raided. Whoa! Thank you so much, everybody from from Films Blog. Thank you very much for coming by. I appreciate it. I think I got it rated by them before, but I don't know exactly. I do appreciate the Ray guys. Thank you so much for coming by. Yeah, that on them, that on them, that
Grab
works.
on us, yeah.
All right, and of course, and if anybody out there in the Pokemon, what should I call it? I can't talk today for some reason. In the podcast world, of course, you can always check us out there, and we'll be here. So Terrakin is coming back. We got another week of that, and after that, of course, we don't know what the next raid boss is going to be. Are they going to continue recycling legendary? What do you think, Chris?
I hear a lot of speculation that they're actually going to bring in the Gen 5 dragons, and I'm very hopeful, but it does seem a little bit soon. Honestly, I think they're going to try keeping us from going out to raid, but I think their whole, like, I don't know what you'd call it. I think their logic is that since we have the passes that we can raid from a distance now, they're going to be like, oh, well, you guys can just raid from your cars, but we've already been doing that. I don't know. It's just weird to me, you know?
Well, with everything that is actually going on, the amount of ways to be able to actually play the game right now, double gym distance, remote rating. Soon we're actually gonna be able to get invitations to raids, and that's actually going to be a big changer because in a lot of the places that I actually listen to, the other podcasts, the other YouTubers, and everything, everybody's saying remote rating came out okay. The only problem it wasn't as hype as it should be because nobody can actually invite their friends to go and raid. That's the
That's the thing.
yeah, that's the word the bad thing about how this has been rolling out. Now, of course, they had to test out the waters. I can't say that Niantic didn't think this through. They thought this through. I'm pretty sure that the best thing about it is that they have to test the waters, see how remote rating actually came to be. The damage input, everything that usually you will do in a regular raid had to happen as a remote. So I think the Niantic was working in a way to say, hey, we're gonna go ahead and do this first before we actually let everybody else flood, every raid around the world with invitations. So I think that's what they're working on. Plus maybe a more stable server to make sure that once the invitations go out and we start inviting our friends, things like that would actually be interesting for a lot of people. Uh, Once again in the chat, I'm actually gonna say thank you very much for Robo Creeper for actually subbing to the channel. I understand that rural players are having it bad these days because of it. Thank you, Film Blogs, for actually keeping up with us, and thank you very much for the subs there. So, as what I was saying, just the way to invite the thank you, Chris, and just what we really need in the game right now is to be able to play with our friends. That's what, unfortunately, because of this whole pandemic, we haven't been able to do. We have our discords, we have our groups, we can talk to each other, but we don't have a good way to interact with them aside from carpooling, or not carpooling, but car distancing and all that. So it's really hard to get to that point, and we all itching to just hang out with friends. That's what we want to do. That's how Pokemon Go should be played. It's a new world right now, and that's what we have to do. So it kind of works out that way for a lot of people. But we'll get there. Actually, the APKs in the last few times are actually put information about invitations. So we don't know yet when it's gonna come out. We are expecting maybe by at least in my perspective, because I see that they're trying to slowly roll out legendaries and all that. I want to say maybe by the beginning of next month is when we're actually gonna see the invitations go live, and then test out the waters once again and see how they fare out for everybody there. So yeah, that's my expectation. What do you think, Chris?
I mean, as soon as they implement it, I know there's going to be bumps along the road.
Yeah.
The only thing I'm really worried about is how far the distance is going to be for invitations. And I do like the thought process that you had that it's going to be based on where you live. So if you can't raid at that time where you live, you're not going to be allowed to raid. So say it's like 11 p.m. There's obviously no raids by you.
Right.
So you shouldn't be allowed to raid with somebody on the other side of the world. I like that. So I'm hoping that's the only barrier. Like you can only raid like, I don't know, like what is it, like 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. basically right now,
Yeah.
9:30 p.m.
Yeah. Definitely most, and you're right. That's what we discussed it before about remote rating and how invitation is gonna work out. Just the way that they're going to put a stop into the time zones, because time zones are a thing. They don't want people rating at 2 o'clock in the morning in their own time zones with somebody who's rating at 1 o'clock in the afternoon in the next day or something like that. So
Yeah.
they kind of want to make sure that they keep that under control. If the I know what you're saying basically, keep it under control to make sure that they don't go overboard on the whole thing. It is Pokemon Go, that means go out and play. It's just right now it's more quarantine go because we cannot get out of there. But I mean, I'm pretty sure Niantic has all these meetings, all these things, and even with creators and influencers and everything to make sure that we get the right information and of course we get the right things for the player. We don't want to mess up the game too much.
No.
So that's really what we got. But again, Terrakion coming back, another shiny possibility. Hopefully we get that shiny because I'm 2 for 3 out of the Justice Dog so far. So I need one more.
I feel like he's got the best shiny too.
Yeah, definitely.
To be fair.
It's still, one of the weakest ones too, but still pretty good to actually get.
Yeah.
So 2 for 3 on shinies, and of course have you gotten one of the shinies yet? Out of all the 3?
Not for Parisian, but I did for Cobalion.
Oh, okay.
I believe. Okay. Well, actually, let me check that. I'm not sure.
And while you do that, Manny, thank you very much. And Robo Creeper, I understand that maybe Go Battle League can actually put legendaries back. We'll see. That's the feedback of the community. What about you, Chris?
Dude, I'm 0 for 2.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, I'm really hoping that they put in one of the I'm hoping they put in legendaries. It just felt like it was like 90% of the ones you got was the legendaries before.
Yeah.
So I hope it's not like that. I hope it's like 50 and then the normal pool maybe.
Yeah, well, that's what we're hoping for, at least when it comes down to it. So
maybe that's too high. I don't know.
I don't either, but we'll see how Niantic will really react to how we are handling, everything. Now that the remote rating is out, they kind of don't want to do it in GBL for, I think, the reason that they still want to implement the remote rating a lot. So I think that's the reason why they really haven't put it on GBL. But there we go. That's, 0 shinies, 2 shinies. We'll work to that. But anyways. All right, Chris. It's time.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's time.
Oh, yeah. I've been saving this all day.
So, as you guys know, and everybody in the chat and everybody in the podcast, the Hoenn Research Challenge, the Throwback Challenge, is live right now. So, Chris and I has actually gone through every single one of the researches. And we actually have our encounter with Groudon, which is the legendary Pokemon out there. So, we wanted to make sure that all of you are here to see this. If you are in any of the podcast services, you can check out our channels. They'll be out there to make sure that things work out pretty well. But here we go, Chris. We're going to go ahead and count it down from 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Completing the research. Oh, he got the shiny. All right, hold on. Can we get a back-to-back here? Yeah! We got it.
No way.
We got it on stream. Oh my goodness. I can't believe that happened. We got double shinies on stream. Dude. Oh my god. If anybody's on Twitch, please clip it right now. We gotta clip this. You got
good IVs too.
Oh my god. Look at that. I can't believe we did. All right, Pineapple. We got a Pineapple. This is with Fire Punch. The one move.
Oh my gosh.
I can't believe that happened. That's crazy.
Best stream ever, man.
Oh my god, I can't believe it. Now we can't catch it. That's the difference.
Yep. I was like, now we're punished because we can't catch it in the first ball.
Yo, man, I can't. Like when you got the shiny, I was like, man, I'm not gonna get the shiny. I'm not gonna get it. I'm gonna get it. And then we got it, man.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck, man. Oh, that's awesome.
All right, so we got shiny Groudon with Fire Blast live on stream.
Yeah, it'll be Fire Punch. Then I think you want to run it with Earthquake, yes. But I guess that's going to change. I don't know.
We'll see. He is going to be a monster in Go Battle League for sure, Master League. But now we can flex it. Guys.
It's going to be awesome.
And I'm sorry for anybody who's listening to this podcast in Apple and any other podcast feeds. good luck. I'm gonna probably put a little warning at the beginning of it to make sure that you guys are not aware. They're aware of the the volume coming up. So,
Dude,
all right,
I was not. Yeah, we weren't expecting to get a
check.
shiny.
Time for to check the IVs.
I want to see yours.
Ooh, 93? Is that a 93?
93.
Yeah, that's a 93 IV.
Woo.
That's beautiful. Oof. What about yours?
That is clean. Oh, mine is not that good. It's 1730 something. I'm gonna see if I can. Oh, 1736, and I think it's like an 87, 85.
Okay.
I might try lucky trading it with somebody, but I'm not sure.
Either way, that is beautiful shiny to get, and especially on stream for all of you to see. Thank you so much for everybody to being here. Films, yeah, you made the right call to actually come around. So yeah, whew, man, that was exciting. That was exciting. I was not expecting that kind of excitement. I thought one of us was going to be like, maybe we'll not get the shiny, but that was beautiful. It was worth the wait for sure.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh my goodness. So yes, all right. So we got our Groudon with Fire Punch. That means that we are set for GBL. And of course, once you get your Elite Charge TM, you can actually change your better IB ones to Fire Punch. So do remember that it's live in the game right now. Thank you very much for everybody for coming so far, because I mean you guys brought the luck. Thank you so much. That was crazy.
Dude, I'm still laughing.
Oh my goodness, my heart is pumping for sure. I'm gonna clip that everywhere from now on. Like a good thing I was streaming on Twitch too for this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Let's go ahead and try to move on from the excitement. We got our shinies. We're happy as heck. We can continue on with the podcast. Let's go ahead and do that. All right. All right, Chris, you want to go ahead and read the next information that we have there for the podcast?
Oh yeah. So since the world still has to turn, we're going to be having another community day coming up, and it is going to be the beloved C-Dot.
So,
and I'm very excited.
Yeah,
honestly.
Definitely. So, C-Dot Community Day, it's coming, which is actually happening next week. But we'll go through all the details. This is coming live, or this is coming from the blog post in Pokemon Go Live.com, of course. And then, of course, Community Day Play at Home Edition featuring C-Dot. Now, this is technically the second time C-Dot has actually gotten a special move to themselves. The first one was, I want to say maybe a year or so back when Gen 3 was still relatively new. It was, I think it was before, if I remember correctly, and if my memory serves me right, before PvP came out for the first time. Because everybody was getting C-Dot, of course, with Grass Knot, but nobody was really thinking that it was going to be a PvP meta thing until, PvP came out. So it's a weird choice, yes, but I think it's mostly because they want to, still test the waters on Community Day, especially because if we continue doing the same pattern that we're doing before, I'm pretty sure that we'll lose so many different Pokemons we'll go through the list of 10Ks and starters pretty quickly. And unfortunately, they're moving on from that formula. They want to keep on going with a little bit differences. And Community Day is still a good one-time deal in the month where you can get a lot of shinies, a lot of Stardust, a lot of different things just for playing the game. So, I mean, that they have to do it as long as it's reasonable. Now, we'll go through the details, and this is what Pokemon Go has said about the event. So, get ready for another Community Day Play at Home Edition, this time featuring C-Dot, the Acorn Pokemon. This special event format will last 6 hours and will feature increased incest duration, ghost snapshot surprises, and a special research story, and of course more. We'll also be testing the very first Community Day live stream during the event, so stay tuned for more details. Now, this event runs from Sunday, May 27 at 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. local time. C-Dot appearing more frequently in the wild. If you're lucky, of course, you'll encounter a shiny C-Dot. Evolve it all the way to Shiftry with having the special move Bullet Seed, which is a fast move, correct?
Yeah. It's kind of like a mirror of Snarl, except it's grass. So it's going to perform about the same. There's just very specific times that you'd want to use it.
Definitely. Bullet Seed had their power boosted in that regard, and it's technically the same as Snarl when it comes down to it. So it depends on what you're hitting with it. Like if you're hitting a psychic Pokemon, you want Snarl, but if you want to hit, something like Azumarill, which is the end gamer in any of the GBLs, you want bullets is for sure. But it really depends on the situation and how well it performs. Once it actually comes out, we'll actually have more information on how it does. So then we also have the $1 special research that you can purchase on the shop when Community Day starts. Exclusively story Seen Double. Professor Willow follow Professor Willow as he learns about Seedot and discovers just how much it is and evolves forms, Nuzlocke and Shiftry. Enjoy messing with trainers and Pokemons alike. Complete it to earn 3 incense, 5 golden raspberries, and other rewards. Take a few snapshots during Community Day for a price, which is the same of what Aura has actually been doing. So we're probably going to see a shiny in the overworld, which is kind of nice. I did get mine.
I love it.
Back then in Abra, so that's pretty cool. And of course, there will be a special one-time purchase May Community Day bundle featuring an Elite Fast DM, 30 Ultra Balls, 3 Incense, and 3 Lucky Eggs. And then once again, they're putting the Elite TMs into, boxes before they come out for the first time. But that's because at the same time, we're going to wait until the end of the season to actually see it. So it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely going to buy one probably.
Yeah.
Even though, I hate buying them, I'm going to buy it.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. It's my chance to see that my Tyranitar will finally have a move I can use on it.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Special bonuses, of course, 3-time cash experience, not this Dustus this time. So they want to still implement the experience grind there. Insect activity during build will last 3 hours, which it can go up to 6 because of the stacking. Body Pokemon with a body level of grade or higher will bring you helpful items such as Pokeballs throughout the event. Check out the Help Center article to learn more about great bodies with your body. And of course, the very first time experiencing Community Day with others online during our live stream. Are you participating in the Community Day? Playing at home doesn't mean you have to play alone. Tune in our English language YouTube channel for our first ever 24-hour Community Day live stream. Join anytime between Saturday, May 23rd, 6 p.m. and Sunday at May 24th at 6 p.m. To watch Seedot and other Pokemon play in the wild. You can also jump in a conversation in the comments. Let's have fun and play together at home. Now, this is the first time Pokemon Go is doing this. It's not the first time that the Pokemon Company has done it. But the first time they did a 24-hour stream, it was for the release of or the information about Galarian Ponyta. And that took forever to get a 24-hour thing going around. If you actually went through that stream, you guys did not want to see that stream. Nobody was happy about it. There are many reasons, and we can get into it. We can rant too many about it. But let's see how Pokemon Go steps it up. This is Pokemon Go in the end. I don't know if somebody's going to handle it, if they have like a live stream that's just going to keep rotating. We don't know. We'll see how things go on that regard for sure. What do you think, Chris?
I'm curious to see if they have the YouTubers that they pay via Niantic do it, or if it's going to be just random people. I'm really interested to see how they do it. If they're just hosting people that are playing on Twitch or something,
Yeah, definitely. I'm pretty sure that all of the affiliated Pokemon Go influencers are actually here in the United States. We have Zoe 2 Dots in Australia, Reverson in the Netherlands. We have the guy from Trainer Tips video in Germany. But if they do rotate, and of course Yamada from Japan, if they do gonna rotate between live streams, they're gonna have to start early. I'm pretty sure the Yamada will be the first one, and because he is in Japan, or actually no, it would be Soy 2 Dots when it comes down to it. If that's what they're thinking of doing, that'd be great, because we're able to host between many different influencers that will be playing the game and interacting with their communities and things like that. So it's actually pretty nice. And since Pokemon Go has a bigger wide range of audience, whatever they go in, they'll see the other YouTubers' channels. That of course make them grow a little bit longer. But that's still only one speculation of it. We don't know. They said that the Seedot and other Pokemons play in the wild, so we'll see a live stream specifically for it. We'll see Galarian Ponyta all over again, just like they say in the chat here. But we don't know. we won't know until we see it. We'll definitely be going to be tuning in on
Oh yeah.
Saturday. I actually have the full weekend off plus Memorial Day. So we have three. I have 3 days fully for this. um, so that's gonna be helpful, but we'll definitely have you stay tuned to our social channels on how things work. So that is C. Community Day Play at Home Edition. We're excited. New shinies, new moves, elite fast DM, everything that Pokemon Go has actually granted us in the last few days and last month. Once again, hashtag thank you Niantic.
Bless.
Bless.
Yes.
All right. So another piece of information, and this one is kind of an interesting one when it comes down to it. It's basically a guide to Pokemon Go. Now, how they said it in their blog post, which I am gonna pull up here for you guys. The guide to playing Pokemon Go is at home is coming soon. So this is, I think, a more informational way for the game for people to know what you can do in the game right now as it stands with quarantine and everything that's going on. Basically, I think it's going to be inside the game, but let's read the blog post real quick to understand what exactly is going on. So trainers, again, this is coming live from Pokemon Go Live. There's adventures everywhere. Even when you're playing from your home, there are plenty to go in the world plenty to do in the world of Pokemon Go. The upcoming Play at Home section in the Pokeball menu will soon be your go-to source for information on all the features that let you play the game, the individual settings, whenever you are. Before Play at Home is released in the app, it will be available on Pokemon Go website. So there's 6 categories to this: cash, gift, battle, research, body, and style. Take a quick refresher course on a long-standing feature such as using incense and dressing up your trainer. At this point, I feel like this blog post is all about just the things that we can do in the game. And it's interesting because if you actually look at the image, there's actually something new in the remote rating. You can't really see it unless you have a good vision, but a lot of people pointed out that there is a little mark in the remote rating that seemed to be like an interest mark. So let's say somebody wants to go into a raid. Nobody's around to it. They say 0 people in the lobby. You waste a raid pass. You lose the raid pass. You're done, So there might be a possibility that they're updating that to say, hey, there's people here, want to do the raid. You want to jump in? As many people as possible. And that will go through. Now, that is a feature that been wanted for the beginning of raids. But I think they're finally understanding that is the best way of, getting around it. Now, that's only one speculation of the spectrum, and everybody's talking about it for that reason. I wanted to point it out for you guys. But this is just basically a guide. This is just going to teach us how to play the game, especially for brand new players who are just getting into Pokemon Go because, quarantine and all that stuff. They want to try something new. They said, oh, hey, Pokemon Go is here. You can play even from your home, things like that. They get into the game, and then all of a sudden, they start with a guide. So they're actually knowing what to do, what level requirements they have, their body system, research. There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on, and there's definitely has been a lot introduced into the game since the beginning of Pokemon Go. So I think Niantic is well on its way to just make sure that everybody's satisfied with the features that we have, and understanding that whatever comes across in the future will be in that list entirely. So that people sometimes will get it out of proportion when it reads different things, but at the same time, there will be a good, fresh reminder that Pokemon Go is here to stay for a while. So, this feature will be available in the home or the Pokeball. So if you go to the Pokeball, it will probably appear somewhere in your menu, and they will show you exactly where we'll see exactly when it comes out. And, you'll click on it, you'll see the features, you see what you can do, send friends and things like that. The good thing about it is that I feel like this is also going to bring the community together, because people who want to do all these things will need to get, into Discord groups for rating, Facebook groups. Pokemon Go is a large and it's everywhere. You can go anywhere. You can actually type in Facebook Pokemon Go and you'll see a list of people, with, their own communities and things like that. Oh, yeah. Discord is the same. And then, of course, influencers and all that stuff, YouTube. So, people, if they do come into Pokemon Go for the very first time, I'm pretty sure they'll want to expand their knowledge, and that's what we're here for. So,
oh yeah. So better players, play together. Yeah, it's always good.
Definitely. And I just see it as a way to bring the community just together a bit in this times of need, for
Oh
sure.
yeah.
So, all right. So that is the plain home edition. I know there's not much. Like, they only give us certain information, but again, it's only a guide that's gonna help us. Chris, what do you think?
I think it's mostly just to help the newer players,
Mm-hmm.
especially the people that haven't played for a little while, so they don't know how to play from home, because they're like, well, don't I have to walk my eggs? Don't I have to, walk everything?
Yeah.
Well, they made it a lot easier,
Mm-hmm.
and here's how. So I think it's really nice, really good addition.
Definitely, definitely. Remind me that I have to go to a Pokestop before the end of the night, okay?
I'll remind you right after.
Yeah, definitely. So that is, of course, home at or the guide to Pokemon Go. So now let's go ahead and talk a little bit more information about shinies, since we already got our shinies for the day today. But let's go ahead and recap Incense Day, which is the Carvana special day. I want to say more about it, but I mean, that's really what it is. We had 5 hours incense, which actually, 5 hours where the incense was going to be switched between water types and dark types, Carvana being the featured Pokemon in this special day. And it started out pretty interesting, right? I think if we go back to New Zealand or the other countries when they started a little earlier than us, of course, they were having not the best time in the world on this. Soy two
They
dots.
always, yeah,
Yeah, I think
like always.
Soy two dots. Uh, a lot of the people out there that were actually not really liking this event, but I think they fixed it, but we're not entirely sure if they did. Now,
I I heard it got better odds later on, at least from everyone that's in like the shiny discords
yeah,
that we know. But I mean that's just like one source though. But this is like a global discord, so I don't know.
yeah. So basically, you put in an incest, you will have a full hour because of the bonus that we have right now, and Carvana will be spawning as many as possible because that's the feature Pokemon. For 1 hour, we have water spawns. For the next hour, we had dark type spawns, and it was actually pretty okay. The spawns were okay. They were not the greatest, but they were still, some at best 90 to 95% of the Pokemon spawning were shiny possibilities.
Oh yeah,
With a few
oh yeah,
exceptions, of course, since Alomomola doesn't have a shiny and Purloin doesn't have a shiny. So,
and Skuntank or Stunky hated that thing.
yeah, yeah. So, it was actually pretty interesting. Chris, what was your experience? And I know you were live streaming the event for a couple hours there.
Yeah, I live streamed about half of it.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty exciting. I liked getting the possibility to get a lot of shiny Pokemon we don't see very often. Seal, obviously Carvana. Unless you're walking around the water. Also Sableye, you had that chance to get that shiny, the most coveted ghost shiny,
Yeah.
in my opinion. I know Ghastly's nice, but you can't tell me you don't love a golden boy.
Oh no, I love a golden boy.
So it was very fun, but my main goal was to get some new PvP Pokemon,
Yeah.
and I did that. Got Scraggies,
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Uh,
gorgeous.
yeah, Scraggy being one of those Pokemons that would feature in this first time actually released in the wild for all of you to play. So, if you go through the dark hours of the instance day, you actually are able to get Scraggy spawn. I won't say that it spawn frequently, but it will spawn, every now and then, depending on the hour. So, uh, that was the cool thing about it, PvP wise and all that stuff. I did get some good PvP Pokemons out of the deal. I didn't get good Scraggies for PvP, but I still, it was fun to actually
No.
get a couple of Pineaps and all that.
Yeah, I didn't get the great ones, but I hope people can trade me them. Let me
Yeah,
put it that way.
definitely. And of course, shiny possibilities. I did get 3 Carvanas through the entire event out of the 5 hours. Um, but you know what? They were well needed because I never had a Carvana since it was released.
Same, same.
So,
I got the two shinies. They were actually on stream too, so that made it even better.
yeah.
And then after that, didn't get squat.
Yeah,
Only
yeah.
PvP stuff.
Yeah, and it was interesting. Like I said, it just I guess it wasn't like the best thing in the world, but it was it was a good event either way. After a while,
Oh,
I
I
was
love it.
the last hour I kind of just like I was feeling tired. I was just like going plussing, clicking on it every time, to making sure that of course it wasn't a shiny or a scraggy,
Yeah.
but still. I did get one Pokemon out of the deal, and that was a Pushiena with what that is a rank 3 in PvP.
And that's pretty wild,
And
man.
that is pretty well. I had another one ready to go for PvP, but the ABs weren't great, the best of the kind, and all that stuff. I was hoping for maybe a shiny Lotad because that's still pretty nice.
I only have one, so I was really hoping for a second one, but
Yeah.
Shiny Seal was at the top of my
Oh
list other
yeah,
than Carvana.
yeah. I was checking every
Oh,
single one of them, and unfortunately, no shinies for those.
yeah.
People were getting different shinies in both in our Discord and in other places, but again, the event wasn't. It felt like the event just boosted the rates of how many Pokemon appears. It didn't really boost the rate of the shinies that much.
Yeah, I think Carvana was the only one that got boosted.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know what the exact rates were,
Yeah.
but I'm glad they boosted it.
Definitely. So yeah, that was Carvana Day for us, or Carvana's Instance Day for us. I know everybody's actually liking this kind of thing, mostly because they don't have to, go out and play, do research around, things like that. It's actually
All
been
from home.
it's actually been a very nice, compact experience for everybody, so they don't say, hey, I'm missing out because I can't go out and I can't do this and all these things. So good way for Niantic to switch it up the status quo in that regard. All right, that is our recap there, because there's not much aside from just getting a few shinies. But then the next one, we're actually going to be talking about something interesting, the data mining report from the last APK mine. I'm getting this information from Pokemon Go Hub, and just as they say, this is a disclaimer right now. Anything in this APK mine can change at any point, so it's not fully in the. It could be fully in the game, but it's not. It could change to the point where you don't know what it is. So don't quote on this on us, because in the end of the day, it's just spoilers at this point. And of course, APK mining is actually breaking terms of service, but since we're not the ones actually breaking in to do that, we're just going to talk about it because we're an information podcast. So a few things to note. They're already putting the quest for Community Day and the Snapshot encounter. So everything that we talked about in our blog post for Community Day is already being implemented into the game. We won't share the researchers or anything because we'll just wait for the day to come around. You guys will see. It's not too bad, so you guys will do. There was also a text about time change. Now, we're not sure when it looks like. I think they changed the hours from 5 to 6 p.m. But the start time on Community Day is still at 11 a.m. So it might be the extended time for the Community Day in the end of the day. That looks like there's the quest logs, which is things that Professor Willow will say throughout the special research on Community Day. A little more information about the throwback final research, and this is a good one, but again, it's spoilers, and it's just changing one Pokemon to the other. We won't say the Pokemon because we want to make sure you guys are actually aware when it comes out. Now, once somebody actually finishes the research, you guys will see. Looks like they want to fix up the friendship list, which is actually being broken for a while. And with that in mind, looks like there will be some information like Niantic social overview, online status, which is actually pretty big, and seeing if your friend is online playing the game while you send them, let's say, trades or systems or anything similar to that. So it's good information.
That's probably not very good for me because then people will know I'm avoiding them in PvP.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But let's not talk about that.
Yeah, so it's the online status that everybody's talking about at this point, but it's not live in the game yet. We'll see how that goes. There's also sort and search by online on the friendship list, and yes, we.
They call me a liar, so I had to flex.
Nah, it's fine. I know I was reading the chat there for a second there too. So you'll be able to sort your friends who are online and who is offline to see if you can send them gift or anything like that. You can also search by giftable search. So basically, who can you send a gift while you know that your friend doesn't have it or that does have a gift from the one before. So now this is a big one, and this probably will be implemented probably at the end of Season 2, but this is again a speculation and some information. Team Go Battle League Cups.
I love it. Love it.
So, Team Go Battle League Cups, at least the information that they put in the APK Mine leak, rule set, information whitelist, subtitle, and some eligible Pokemon types. There's more information, of course, but again, this is all just coming out of the framework of the game. We are speculating at this point that it may actually have something closer to what a Go Battle or a Silph Arena tournament would be in the Go Battle League, which would be kind of nice.
I'm taking names, and I'm going to take everyone down. It's going to be great.
All right. Let's not hit ourselves there, but yeah, that's an interesting. There's going to be gym tags. Now, I'm not entirely sure, and I think Pokemon Go Hub doesn't interestingly know. There's some text about Ace, Easy, Exclusive, Go Fest, Greats, Hard, Master, Medium. We're not sure. This is going to be interesting if the gym system does come out, differently. Thank you very much, Marion, for coming by. Stickers, which actually has already been mentioned in the latest APK Mines, but you can send stickers to friends. Will this be a good way another way to interact with your friends, offline or online? We're not sure.
I think it's cute.
It's gonna be a cute thing, and it's just kind of, if you think about it, it's kind of like the gift postcard that you get from them, but you can't save those when you get it from them. So it will be maybe something similar to that, but we'll see when it comes out. Remote raid invites. Now this is an interesting. Let's say you reach the max amount of invites you can send for a while. Please try again later. There's also no more invitations cannot be sent. So there will be a limitation on invites on remote raiding, which if we plan it out correctly, we should be able to invite just enough people to be able to take down a Legendary 5 raid.
I was going to say, with all the level 40s we have around us, or close, we should have no problem.
Definitely.
So this is going to be good.
Definitely. And, it's just going to implement how things will work. Morten Gardo, thank you very much for joining us to the stream. There's also another interesting part of it is the free boxes. Daily free box, a free box or text for free. Is this?
I like free.
Yeah, well, I think everybody likes free. Now, I think that what they're trying to do now, how they're giving us free research, free catches, all this thing, bonuses and all that stuff. Maybe this is another updated bonus. We won't know for sure until it actually comes out. And again, we won't know how it's going to be implemented. Now, we did have our final Pokecoin bundle, one Pokecoin bundle in the shop. Actually today, because it was the 3 incense. But before that, we got 3 raid passes, a couple of Pokeballs, a couple of Great Balls, I think some berries, if I remember correctly.
I think so.
But that was the final, because they announced it, the final one Pokecoin bundle for everybody. Now, it was nice while it lasted. I think they when they say that and then afterwards they give us another one for today's Incense Day, we were like, okay, the final one now. But either way, it's gonna be missed. It's gonna be interesting now, but in the end of the day, it was worth it while it lasted.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I loved it.
Yeah. So thank you, Niantic,
Just
again.
one Pokecoin?
Yeah. So you're getting Pokeballs, Great Balls, Ultra Balls, Ray Passes, Incense. Come on, I mean, guys, it was probably one of the best boxes we had in 2 months worth of this. So yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much it about when it comes down to the APK. Some interesting information for sure. I think the best ones that we want, of course, mention will be the friendship status, which is the online status, the Go Battle Team Cups, which that will be interesting when they announce it. And then after that, the remote rating and the free boxes. That will probably be the most that comes out of this APK mine. But again, guys, this is all just in the game, inside the game, the coding and all that stuff. It's not live in the game, and it's subject to change if Niantic chooses so. So yeah, that's basically that. Now, we're gonna round it up. We won't have a PvP section this week because we think we talked about a lot of PvP when it comes down to it. But if you guys out there listening to the podcast wants us to talk about a little more specific of what kind of teams we want to use in either Go Battle League or in Zelda Arena Team Cups, let us know and we will implement it, of course, in the podcast for you guys. So you guys will actually, learn our perspectives on those things. But right now, there's really not much to talk about in GBL or anything like that because Season 2 had just started and everybody's trying to go to the ranks. If you go to the leaderboard in Pokemon Go Live, you'll see, who's, coming out on top and all these things. So, but there is one last thing that we do want to mention. And Chris is more aware of this information than I have. But I'll also give my thoughts on it. So, Chris, if you can want to, go ahead.
So the PvP section of Pokemon Go on especially Twitter did have a little bit of drama this past week. I don't remember what day it was, but I became aware of it about 2 days ago, I believe.
Right.
Where there was a little bit of drama between two of our top competitors in Sylph, and that's Poke AK and House Stark. So, I don't like to see any fights. So I'm glad that it's already seemed to settle down a bunch. I mean, I was just really hoping everyone would move past it really quick. So I'm really happy to see that. And I'm hoping it goes down a lot, but I don't know. It's just a lot of people getting really mad at other people and then not wanting to be chill about it,
Yeah.
It happens.
Yeah, it happens.
So, just be really courteous with your fellow players, be respectful of how you're talking, at least, especially if you're making a video. They both made videos about each other, even on accident.
Yeah.
It happens, I'm hoping we don't do this in the future. That's all I'm saying.
So what Chris really wanted to implement here is that, there will be drama between YouTubers, between content creators, between, everybody out there. There's always a healthy competition out there. But sometimes, the human force can be a little bit nasty when it comes down to it. We already mentioned Poco AK and House Stark. And, they went back and forth for a little bit when all of this started. And we have fans from Poco AK's community and we have fans from House Star's community, and they're both clashing each other and things like that. In the end of the day, it's a friendly game. In PvP, as competitive it can be, as the many problems that GPL can have, or the things that happen all of a sudden that will make you rage quit or do something similar. Being respectful for others can always be. It can always be a part of a healthy competition, and drama can be avoided for many, many reasons.
I think what you said about it being fan against fan, that's definitely how I feel.
Yeah.
I'm in a special part. I'm a fan of both, so I don't want to see them fighting.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be fan against fan.
And I at least have met at least one of these content creators. Poke AK looks like to be a fun person. When I went to GoFest, we went to the at least I went to the tournament that we're hosting there in the GoFest. I think it was Saturday or one of those days. But I met a bunch of people. I met King, I met Poke AK, Talura Podcast. I met a lot of different people, and it was actually super fun. I didn't get to talk to them a lot, but I did, I talked to Poke AK, and I thanked them for the type of thing that he was doing, for the community, especially the PvP community. And, of course, you saw Poke AK in the World Championships for Pokemon Go Invitational, and how everybody was going rage because he lost against King and all that. But again, it's all friendly competition, and I think everybody can get a little bit heated, especially in these times where quarantine is in place, people can't go out and play, the emotions build up, and everybody's on edge. And then the worst part that it comes down to is, and I think that's what really started this conflict, was GVL. GVL has been a little unplayable for a lot of us since Season 2 started, and everybody's, getting rage, quitting, and even our friend, Speedy Chief, he's been getting, problems with GVL and all that stuff. So
I saw that.
So it's not really, I feel like it's more because of the game, but again, we want to make sure that it was a friendly competition out there for everybody. So Just be friendly, be respectful, and I think that from then on we'll be able to see how things go.
Mhm.
The drama has settled down since then, so at this point it's just mostly just or how they say it, bygones be bygones, and then just let it go through.
Yeah.
So
All
thank
right.
you, Chris, for that information, because again, we want to make sure everybody is happy with our community out there. All right, Chris, looks like we are at the end of our podcast today. I didn't think we were going to go for that long, but we did. It's been an exciting one for sure. I
Oh
think
yeah.
we went through.
Crowd on.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, it was such a nice podcast, guys. But again, guys, thank you so much for listening to the podcast. You can always find us in other podcast feeds like Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, our Heart Radar stickers, and much more. If you can go ahead and leave us a review, if you can, of course, just make sure you do. The best ways for us to interact with you guys will be through reviews, and of course, if you want to, please email us info@purifiedpodcast@gmail.com, and you can text or voice message 941-417-9243. At this point, I'm trying to see who's going to be the very first one who's going to do that. Because the next podcast, whenever we actually do get one, will be featured on the show. So but thank you very much, everybody. Once again, Chris, thank you so much for coming by, even though it was your birthday. So thank you so much once again.
Always a pleasure.
And I think we got our well-shared rewards on today's podcast for sure. But again, thank you everybody in the chat from YouTube and Twitch that's been watching us. And anybody listening to out there, thank you so much. We'll see you, of course, next week. Chris, take it away.
Okay. Thank you guys all for watching. You guys brought the shiny luck. You guys brought the happy birthday wishes. Very appreciative of that. And it's always been a fun time. Always a fun time spending it with you guys for this hour. So thank you guys for coming and watching me and Pure Lighter.
Have a good night, guys.